Hello, welcome to Drops of Jupiter Tarot. I'm Jane Drops. I thought I would do the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus today and see what he had to say. And from the parts that I've read of the book, it says that he had some artwork or tapestry, whatever it is, that resembled tarot. So they chose to publish it, basically. So that's the story. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's still tarot, but it's just different because then it's not your wands and it's not your it's not wands, it's not cups, and it's suns, moons, globes. I think the other one's stars. But then you've got like all your normal major arcana. But yeah, I thought let's give it a go because they are nice. Look, the Fool. That's the Fool. If you're familiar with tarot, that's the beginning of all. So start of the journey, naive. Then you got Death. The Papess, I don't know what that is, so that's going to be one to find out. The Lovers. See here, look, 9 of Moons. Can you see the moons? The top there, look. Yeah. Temperance. Neophyte. Initiate. Stars. Globes. Alchemist. Postulant. Justice. That one looks so familiar, but yeah. So, shall we see what Nostradamus has got to tell us? What we split it on. The Magician and the Fool. You can create your own beginnings. Excuse me, create your own future. You have all the tools and everything inside of you to create your own future. A future that you want. If you're willing to put in the work. Excuse my dog having a good old snore. Knight of Swords. Knight of Sons. And the 3 of Sons. Someone coming to give you their son. By the power of 3, keep negative vibes away from me. Keep negative energy away from me. And yeah, let's go. Quite big these are. And there's a lovely Nostradamus. Oh, want to tell us? Not all of them that flipped. Yeah. Okay. 3 of Globes. The Lady. She looks pregnant as well. And the 5 of Moons. Do you see what they are? Let's have a nosy. Got the book. Yeah. Thinking, do I pause the video until I find the page? 1 sec. It'll only be a second to you. Scratch that. They're not globes. They're spheres. So, 3 of spheres. 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 Get the word out. The newcomers from an undefended place will dwell in a previously uninhabited land. Do you know what that reminds me of? Yeah, I'm not even going to go there. Here we see an angel blessing the papal figure and imbuing him not only with holiness, but also with power and grace. This is a perfect illustration of the way the Pope is blessed at the start of his period of office in the papacy, from which point he is expected to perform his task as the earthly representative of a heavenly power. That not every pope succeeded in doing this fueled the struggles of the Reformation. Here, the image suggests the receipt of great spiritual strength and a deepening of inner awareness which applies to every individual just as to the holder of the keys of St. Peter. This is the card of generous employment. You may be hired to do all kinds of work and find that you gain admiration for the way in which you achieve your aims. You work well with others and your reputation grows. The spiritual aspect of the card suggests a deepening of inner awareness or coming into greater alignment with the spiritual powers that support you. But in all such matters there is a shadow side, and if the card is reversed, you may find yourself unable to carry out the work you have undertaken, or that your approach to it is to spend as much as possible of your employer's money and produce a substandard product. However, if you apply yourself honestly to the work, you will almost certainly achieve greatness. Vision, so power, importance, distinction, celebrity, success beginning to develop. That's that one. So we've got the lady, that's major. What's the lady? Sons. Lady of Sons. Born into the world to a furtive concubine. At 2, she's raised high thanks to the sad news. Okay. Right. Like Lucrezia Borgia herself, the Queen or Lady of Sons, Wands, is a powerful leader, a striking-looking person who may have a strong theatrical aspect. If you encounter her, you may find yourself being carried along on her tide of energy, her knowledge, and her business acumen. She may also touch your heart with wonder. Reversed, she is still a kind and benevolent person, but her theatricality turns towards histrionics, and her golden touch has more of the extravagant about it. She can also be deceitful, teaching you to be careful in your dealings with her. So upright, feminine charm, sweetness, business acumen, sympathetic companion, consort. Reversed, kindness, benevolence, envy, extravagance, and deceitfulness. Right. So, okay. Okay. And the 5 of Moons. What's that one on it? There is little clue in... Oh, brace yourself. There is little to enjoy about this card unless reversed, where, for once, the outcome is better. For the upright meaning, the emphasis is on despair, loss, and ignorance, but under the rather bleak outer sign is a deeper meaning. For here is a turning point, a moment when the correct decision may mean everything. Reversed, the card offers hope, alliances with friends or family, and above all, illumination, which breaks through the dark clouds and lets the truth in. This card asks you to heal old wounds that may have divided you from the rest of your family. So, suffering, grief, loss, disempowerment, regret, inheritance, deceit. Reverse, hope, alliance, family reunion, and ancestors. Oh, gee whiz. Ain't that fun? Should we attempt, because they're like business acumen. Sure, that was to do with business as well. I'll do one more or two more. Does it want to give me any more? We have the Empress. So we've got the Empress, pretty much the Queen of Wands. What was the Three of Spheres? The Chariot. And then we've got the Sun. I mean the Sun. The Moon and the Moon cycles. New Moon. Is it waxing moon? Waning. Eclipse. Crescent moon. Crescent moon. Okay, so the Empress. We know what the Empress is. If you're if you know anything about tarot, she embodies all four queens. Unlike her powerful sister, the Papess, that must be the High Priestess. Yeah. The Empress embodies human love, that of the mother, rather than the power of knowledge and wisdom. Her task is to watch over those who come to her, and her kindness manifests as maternal love. She is also the sovereign of romantic love and represents the passionate response of man to woman or woman to man. In her upright position, she represents the strength of feelings, but when negatively aspected, she can signify a reliance on passion and emotion without due consideration. In a reading, she may represent a strong female companion, wife, sister, daughter, or friend, whose earthy qualities lend themselves to offering support, but, when reversed, can overbalance the psyche by encouraging reckless behaviour. Her two strengths are the nurture she offers and the understanding of passionate relationships, but reversed, she can overwhelm with her smothering love. Anyone who has experienced the destructive love of a mother who cares for her child too much will recognise the Empress and be wary of her. But to those who travel freely through life, she is a boon companion, whose caring nature is both protective and enlivening. So, fertility, ruling passions, health, the feminine, marriage, wild nature, nurture, action. Reversed, smothering love, reckless, infidelity, inaction, and adultery. Don't be her in reverse. The Chariot. The essential meaning of this card has always been about movement, a journey or a struggle to gain momentum. It requires the harnessing of both the will and the emotions, without which all actions may be impulsive and dangerous. The heart must rule as well as the head if one is to obtain one's desires. In readings, the card asks that the ego is reined in by the emotions, that to simply advance with warlike intent is as negative as any unthinking action. Often this card will appear when the issue is to do with fame and fortune, the search for which has overturned many a man or woman. However, if balance and forethought are brought into play, the outcome may be well aspected. If reversed, the pattern is the same, but with a less enviable outcome. Where the upright card implies success, power and satisfaction, reversed it means you may well attempt to climb the hill, but end up falling back down. In every case, the inherent meaning is to do with harnessing your best qualities to give you the needed energy to bring about a successful conclusion. If these energies are out of balance, the result may be catastrophic. The wheels may literally come off the chariot, leaving the passenger stuck without further locomotion. Movement, journey, the need for emotional control, conflict, trouble, overcome, harnessing emotion and will. Reverse, stasis, failure, defeat, conquest, quarrel, dispute, bad news and too much ambition. And then the Seven of Moons. So I'm just reading to see if it says anything about what they are, but no. This is one of the cards of the dreamer who fashions wonderful castles from cloud that soon melts away. Be careful not to become too enraptured by your own plans, forgetting the reality of your life journey. The plans of others may also seem perfect when, in fact, they are hollow. If you are essentially a follower rather than a leader, you need to take care not to be led astray on paths of moonlight. Reversed, the card offers a stronger will and determination, but this may only strengthen your dependency on the vision you have built. The desire to achieve success or to win in love may confuse the real issues here. So you got plans, flights of fancy, meditation, imagination, the illusion of success, false plans, desire, willpower, determination and aspirations. Well, I hope you guys got something from that. I don't know if I'll be using this deck because that's quite... I'd have to really look into that. Obviously I've never used any other decks other than the original Rider-Waite, Swords, Wands, Pentacles and Cups. So to do that on, figure that one out. Right guys, so I'll leave you with that one, and then what I'll do is I'll go and get my normal tarot and I'll do some oracle decks as well for you. I might even do a cut the shit because, you know, that went down so well. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.